Hey guys, welcome to the Westwind Training Academy's PMDG 737 check ride video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to get the 737 set up from cold and dark start to FMC programming. We're going to go through all of that. So today I am sitting on the ground here at Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport, and we're going to do a flight from Atlanta. So I'll just get loaded up here. You can kind of see the outside of the aircraft. It's a very nice aircraft here. But we're going to go to the 2D panel. That's what I'm going to use mostly today. So the first thing you want to do is go to your overhead panel. And your overhead panel can be accessed by clicking this O right here. So we're going to click the O. Now the first thing we want to do is turn on our battery. So we'll turn that on. Next we're going to turn on our standby power. Then we can turn on ground power. Alrighty, then we'll arm our emergency lights. We can turn on cabin utility info stuff, turn on our yaw damper, turn on window heat, turn on our probe heat, our hydraulic pumps. You'll see a bunch of red lights go away there. And next we can come down here and start our APU. So we're going to bring our APU to start and on. Now what we want to watch for here is this little gauge. This arrow is going to slowly move up. So we'll wait for that arrow. There it goes. Alrighty, once that arrow passes about 7, we're going to see a blue light come on right above here. It'll come on in just a second here. There it is. And when that blue light comes on, that means our APU is turned fully on. So we're going to turn on our APU generators by pressing that button and pressing that button. And that gives us power to the aircraft using the APU generators. Next we're going to go over here and turn on APU bleed, make sure our packs are off, and then we can go back to the main panel. You'll see a bunch of warnings over here. We can just recycle that. And now you've got all your instruments here. It's pretty simple. We've got our primary flight display. You can click on it and bring it up a little bit. Speed, altitude, and all that. We've got our navigational display. There's nothing on it as of yet. And then over here we've got our engine displays. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to program the FMC before our engine start. So you can press the F button and bring up the FMC. I'm going to click on the FMC button. And then this is going to our ident page. It tells us our model, the 737-700, ARAC 1009, and then all that other stuff. We don't really need to worry about it. So first we're going to go to post init, or position initialization. Now here this is going to get our position set up there on the IRS. So we're going to type it in. Now let me tell you something that's going to make it a little easier to type stuff into the FMC. If you go down here to this black bar and click it, you're going to see a little button that says KBD up here. That means you can use your keyboard, your computer keyboard, to type in on the FMC. So we're going to type in the airport we are at right now, which is Cincinnati, KCVG, and stick that into reference airport. Now when we want to stick stuff into these things right here, we're going to click the line select key over here. So we'll click that. There. And you notice when I type something, it appears up here on this little area down here. This is called your scratch pad. So when we type something in our scratch pad, we stick it into a space by pressing the line select key. So now we've got our reference airport of Cincinnati, and we've got coordinates over here. We don't need to worry about the gate. That's not important. You can do it if you want to, but I've got add-on scenery, so it's not really going to work. Next we can go to route. We'll click on route. And then you'll see it says origin and destination. And it also brought up KCVG, Cincinnati, and your scratch pad. It knows you are at Cincinnati, so Cincinnati is going to be your origin, so it's saving you a little time, and we can just stick that right into origin. And then we are going to be going to Atlanta today, so we're going to type in KATL and stick that into destination. And now we see up here it says 1/2. That means we are on page 1 of 2 pages. So to go to that second page, we're going to click next page right here. That's going to bring us to our route page where we're going to type in our flight plan. Now I've got my flight plan right here in this notepad. We're going to use the Churchill 2 departure, go to Bowling Green VOR, and the Erlin 7 arrival at Atlanta. So what we're going to do is in this route page we type in all of our jetways, VORs, and waypoints that are not a SID or star. So if we had a jetway, for example, let's say jet 149, we'd type in J149, and we'd put that into via, and then 2. We click that via. Via is for the jetways, and then 2 is for your VORs or waypoints. Usually are going to start on a waypoint, so we'll type in BWG here. That's our first waypoint we're going to go to, and we'll click that into the 2 area. And it's going to bring select desired waypoint up. Now there's 2 different waypoints in the world that use BWG. Now it gives you your coordinates of them, and also it sorts them in a certain order. It sorts them in which one is closer to you. So it's your 99.9% of the time, it's going to be the top one that you're going to choose. So we're going to click that top one. And it's going to say via direct to Bowling Green. So we're going direct to Bowling Green VOR. Now say if we wanted to take Jet 149 to another VOR, we would type in J149, stick that in via, and then, I'm not going to do that now though, because it's not part of the flight plan. But I'll stick that in via, and then I'll put the waypoint over in 2. So it's pretty simple. It's not that hard to catch along to. So that's really all of our flight plan, except for the SID and star. So we're going to hit activate. And then over here, you see a little line go under EXEC, that stands for execute. We're going to execute that. Alright, now it says ACTRTE. That stands for active route. And if we look down here, we see a little circle that says KCVG with a pink line. That means our route is put in there. Now we're going to go to the perf init page. Now here it wants a bunch of stuff like our gross weight. But we can get that by going to the aircraft and fuel and payload section where it says gross weight 135. Or we can just click it, and the FMC will automatically load it for you. Now it's also going to load your 0 fuel weight and your fuel aboard, 33.0. Next we're going to put in our reserves. You can really use any number, I just use 2. And then your cost index, that is that really has to do with your cruising speed and everything, and how you want everything to have to do with cost. Since I'm impatient, I go at 200. That's going to give me a faster cruising speed and a higher altitude. Alright, it's saying that our trip maximum flight level is 401, or 400, and we're going to go at flight level 330 today for our cruising altitude. So we'll type in 330, and stick that in there. And then we'll press execute. Next we can go to N1 limit. That's going to bring up N1 limit stuff. You don't really need to worry about that. And then go to takeoff, and then go to departure. Now, like I said before, our SID is the Churchill to SID. So we are going to find Churchill under the SIDs. There it is. We'll click on Churchill to, and the transition is BWG, like in our flight plan. So we'll click on BWG, Bowling Green. And then over here we will select the runway that we are departing from. So we're going to say that we're departing from runway 27. ATC had assigned us 27. So now that we've got all that information in there, we can press the execute button, and that is all become valid. We now can go back to the N1 limit page by clicking there, and go to takeoff. This is our takeoff reference page. Now it's asking us for our flaps. You see those 2 little boxes, it's asking for flaps. When we take off in the 737, our standard flap setting is 5, so we'll stick that in there. And then we can go over here to V1, VR, V2, V1, rotate, V2. Just click it once. It's going to bring up your V speeds. So V1 is going to be 126, rotate at 129, V2 137. And now we see it says pre-flight complete. Yes, your pre-flight is complete. So I'm going to go over here to the legs page and check everything. Now if we can use this little scrolly button to zoom in and out on our navigational display. And we see that it is going to take us on runway heading, that's the 1400 there, to Bonley, to Cold, to Chakal, and then to Squares. We don't want that. That Squares there is called a route discontinuity. If we click the next page button, we'll see it say that there. If we ever have a route discontinuity, we will see that we have 2 of the same VORs, BWG, BWG. And if we click the next page, there's nothing left. So what we're going to do is just take BWG, click that, so it puts that in our scratch pad, click previous page, and stick that in the route discontinuity, and click the execute button. And now if we zoom out, we see there is a good straight blue or pink